full technicolor of a new beginning. The clouds are like the curtains in a theatre, drawing back to reveal... what? I have no idea what life holds for me here, but I offer up a silent and heartfelt message of thanks to Liz for leaving me her house and giving me this chance. Liz was my favourite aunt. Actually, she was my only aunt, but she'd have been my favourite, even if I'd had others. You may have heard of her. Liz Chamberlain became something of a celebrity in the swinging 60s, when she made a name for herself with her photography. Her iconic portraits of rock stars and artists are still reprinted from time to time, especially, it has to be said, accompanying obituaries these days. But she moved to the depths of rural France at the end of the 70s and completely turned her back on the glamour and buzz of her London life, becoming a bit of a recluse. She never lost her eye for beauty, although she turned her camera lens from celebrities to the countryside surrounding her new home, picking up commissions to take photos for books on the wines of Bordeaux and the landscapes and wildlife of southern France. Her passion waned with the advent of digital photography, as she said. The challenge and artistry had gone. It's the end of an era. As I drive south towards my new home, the car crammed with my worldly belongings and a dozen packets of chocolate hobnobs, essential survival rations, I can hear Liz's voice. Perhaps her spirit is with me on the journey. That thought calms me a bit and gives me confidence as I leave behind my familiar, safely under control life in England for the unknown here in France. A fresh start. I suppose that's something we don't often get in life, a completely clean slate. Although, to be honest, the blankness of that clean slate is just a little terrifying when you've been used to having your days filled by a full-time job, with a steady salary and a busy social life on which to spend it. I'll need to create a new structure for myself out here, I decide. A healthy and balanced lifestyle of exercise, good diet, wine only in moderation, although admittedly that one could be tricky, given that I'm going to be living in one of the biggest and best wine regions of the world, and some serious studying for my Master of Wine qualification. I will use this opportunity as a sabbatical for some intensive self-improvement, returning to England tanned, toned, and well-qualified, with a newly acquired air of French sophistication, in order to relaunch myself into my stratospheric career in the London wine trade. And then that slimy toad Ed Cavendish will be sorry he chucked me for the younger and better endowed, financially anyway, her figure's nothing to write home about, Camilla. Calm, deep breaths, I tell myself, as I turn off the autoroute and onto the road that runs past Saint-Emilion to Sainte-Foy-la-Grande, item 2 on my to-do list. Why does letting go take so much effort? I'd hardly been back a fortnight after that last buying trip to France in the spring, when the call came. I realised that I'd known this was coming, but had been studiously ignoring it, like a child who puts their hands over their eyes, believing that if they can't see the monster can't see them. I was sitting at my kitchen table as my mother told me the news of my aunt's death, my Saturday morning shopping list in front of me. Bread, it said. Eggs, milk, washing up liquid. Frozen in shock and grief, the words burned themselves into my dry eyes, mundane and meaningless. Mum's voice over the phone was calm and composed, and for a moment I thought I'd fallen through a hole in time and was listening to her telling me of my father's death a year before. She'd been so cool and collected then, too, and it upset me how remote she seemed from him, in death as in life. Their marriage had always appeared to be more one of convenience than passion. But I forced myself to listen to the words she was saying this time, and they were different. A neighbour found her yesterday afternoon. A stroke, they think, very sudden. Celia Everett called to tell me. She and Hugh are being wonderful getting everything organised at that end, which is a huge help as their French is so good and they're on the spot. The funeral should be towards the end of the week. Apparently Liz left instructions. My throat and chest felt constricted with the crushing pain of grief and loss. It hurt to speak. She knew it was coming.